You are not broke because you do not make enough money. You are broke because you have a leak. Picture two men standing in a storm. The first man is holding a massive bucket, but that bucket has 100 small holes in the bottom. The rain pours in fast. He looks successful. He is catching more water than anyone around him, but it pours out just as fast as it comes in. By the time the storm ends, his bucket is empty. He is exhausted, he is stressed, and he is broke. The second man is holding something much smaller. A simple steel cup. No holes, no leaks. The rain falling into his cup is barely a drizzle compared to what the first man is catching. But every single drop he catches, he keeps. When the cup is full, he pours it into a barrel, then another barrel. By the time the storm ends, the man with the massive bucket is on his knees begging for water. The man with the small cup is wealthy. That is not a metaphor about luck. That is the financial reality most people are living right now without even realizing it. We are obsessed with income. We think the answer to every money problem is make more, get a raise, get a better job, start a side hustle. But making more money when you have a leak is not wealth. It is just a faster way to lose everything. The samurai understood something about money that most modern people never learn. Wealth was never about how much a warrior earned. It was about discipline, about control, about the gap between what came in and what went out. There is a Japanese practice, centuries old, that was built entirely around this single idea. It is called kakebo. It is not an app, it is not a spreadsheet, it is a notebook and a pen. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand why Japanese households using this exact method have quietly built more financial freedom on modest incomes than people earning 3 times as much. Stay with me, because the second half of this video is going to show you exactly how to patch your own leak starting tonight. Welcome to Void Dojo. Here is why you are bad with money. It is not because you are careless. It is because money has become invisible. You tap a card. You click buy now. You open an app and your food arrives. You never see the money leave your hand. You never feel it go. This is not an accident. Companies have spent billions of dollars engineering exactly this. They removed the friction from spending on purpose, because friction makes you think, and thinking makes you stop. When you hand over physical cash, your brain registers something close to pain. It is a real psychological response. When you tap a card, that pain disappears completely. You do not feel the loss until the statement arrives at the end of the month. By then the damage is already done. The samurai lived by a different principle entirely. Awareness before action. You do not swing a blade without knowing exactly where it lands, and you should not spend a coin without knowing exactly where it goes. Kakebo is the practice of bringing that awareness back. You physically write down every single expense, not in an app, by hand. And something strange happens when you have to write the words coffee, $6 on a piece of paper instead of just tapping a screen. You pause. You ask yourself a question you never asked before. Was that actually worth it? That single pause is where wealth begins. Now here is the system itself. The 4 questions of kakebo. At the start of every month you sit down with your notebook and you answer 4 things. How much money do I have? How much do I want to save? How much must I spend on things I cannot avoid? And how can I improve from last month? Most people get this completely backwards. They spend first and save whatever happens to be left over, which is usually nothing. The samurai approach flips this entirely. Income minus savings equals what you are allowed to spend. If you earn $3,000 and you want to save $500, you remove that $500 immediately, before anything else touches it. Now you are living on $2,500, not $3,000. This creates something powerful, artificial scarcity. And scarcity, used correctly, builds discipline the same way resistance builds a stronger blade. When there is less available, you stop wasting. You start choosing. Next, every expense gets sorted into one of 4 buckets. This is not complicated. It is just honest. Survival. Rent, food, transportation, medicine. Non-negotiable. Optional, eating out, shopping, drinks, subscriptions. This is where the leak almost always is. Growth, books, courses, anything that sharpens your mind. The samurai spent on this without guilt because growth was never a waste. Unexpected, repairs, emergencies, the things you did not plan for. Every single evening you sit for 3 minutes and you write your receipts into these buckets. This is the real discipline, not the big yearly review, the daily reckoning. Most people only look at their finances once a month. That is not a checkup, that is an autopsy. The patient is already gone. Kakebo checks the pulse every single day while the patient is still alive. Now here is a tool the samurai would have respected immediately. Cash in an envelope. For your optional spending, you withdraw the exact amount you have budgeted at the start of the month. You put it in an envelope. When you go out, you pay from that envelope. When the envelope is empty, the spending is over. There is no overdraft. There is no quietly reaching for a credit card. The limit is physical. The limit is absolute. If you blow through the entire envelope in the first week, you spend the next 3 weeks at home. That lesson stings, and it teaches you something no app notification ever could. Next month you pace yourself. There is a second weapon hiding inside this entire system, and it might be the most powerful one. The 30-day pause. You see something you want. It is not survival. It is not necessary. Old instinct says buy it now. New instinct says write it down. Put it on a list. Wait 30 days. After 30 days you look at the list again and ask one honest question. Do I still want this? Or was I simply bored, or stressed, or trying to fill something that has nothing to do with money at all? 90% of the time the desire is already gone. You saved money by doing absolutely nothing except waiting. If after 30 days you still want it with the same intensity, then buy it. But now it is a decision made with intention, not an impulse disguised as a need. There is a Japanese word for something connected to this, motenai. It means a kind of regret over waste. It is the discomfort of throwing away something that still has life in it. Before buying new shoes, polish the ones you have. Before buying a new phone, clean the one in your hand. The economy around you depends entirely on you staying unsatisfied with what you already own. Kakebo, and the samurai mindset underneath it, teaches the opposite. Satisfaction through maintenance. Respect for what you already hold. At the end of every month, there is one final practice. Hansei, reflection. You sit down, you look at the numbers honestly. You compare what you planned to what actually happened, and you ask the harder questions. Where did I lose control? Why did I spend $200 on food delivery this month? Was I tired? Was I lonely? Was I avoiding something? This is not about punishing yourself. It is about collecting data on your own behavior the way a strategist studies a battlefield. Maybe you discover you spend the most money exactly when you are most stressed at work. Now you have identified the trigger. Next time that stress appears, you have a different response ready. A walk, a bath, something that costs nothing but still meets the actual need underneath the spending. This becomes a loop. Kaizen, small continuous improvement. Every single month you get a little sharper, a little tighter, until one day you are saving 30, 40, even 50% of your income without feeling like you are sacrificing anything at all. Because here is the truth almost nobody tells you. Wealth is not a number. It is a ratio. A man making $200,000 a year who spends every dollar of it has zero wealth. He is on a wheel. If he loses that income tomorrow, he is in serious trouble within 30 days. A man making $50,000 a year who spends $30,000 and saves $20 is wealthier than the first man will ever be, because he owns something the other man does not. Time. Freedom. Choice. The gap between what comes in and what goes out is the entire game, not the number on your paycheck. Every dollar you manage to save is not money sitting still. It is a worker. A small soldier you have recruited into your own army, working quietly while you sleep, slowly buying back hours of your own life. Your spending is a mirror. If you say family matters most to you, but your ledger shows $500 on entertainment and $0 on family, the notebook is not lying. You are. Align what you spend with what you actually value. That alone will change more than any raise ever could. So here is your task. For the next 7 days you are going to write down every single cent you spend, not in an app. By hand, a notebook, a napkin, the back of your hand if you have to. Coffee, $4.50, gas, $40, everything. At the end of 7 days, look at the full list. Circle every want in red, add it up. You are going to be surprised at how much you are quietly setting on fire every single week without ever noticing the smoke. Tell me in the comments. What is the one expense that quietly drains you every single month? The coffee, the delivery app, the subscription you forgot you were paying for. Say it out loud down there. Confessing it is the first step to fixing it. The path to wealth was never a lottery ticket. It was always a notebook, and the discipline to be honest with what you write inside it. The path is long. Walk it anyway. This is Void Dojo.